Imagine a world split right down the middle. On one side, freedom, democracy, and capitalism. On the other, communism, one-party rule, and government control over nearly everything. This divide had a name, the Iron Curtain. For nearly half a century, it shaped global politics, everyday lives, and even the fear of nuclear war. But then, in the late 1980s and early 1990s, it all came crashing down. Let's go back to the beginning. It's 1945. World War II has just ended. Europe is in ruins. The Soviet Union controls huge parts of Eastern Europe: Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania, Bulgaria, and East Germany. Communist governments loyal to Moscow take power in all of them. Meanwhile, Western Europe, backed by the United States, rebuilds with democracy and capitalism. Europe is no longer one continent, it's two worlds divided by politics, ideology, and fear. In 1946, Winston Churchill gives it a name, the Iron Curtain. The Cold War begins. It's not a war with bombs and tanks. It's fought with spies, propaganda, nuclear weapons, and endless tension. The most powerful symbol of this divide? The Berlin Wall. Built in 1961, it separates East and West Berlin. Families are split. People risk their lives to escape to the West, and the world lives under constant fear. Will the US and the Soviet Union start a nuclear war? But in the 1980s, things begin to change. Two leaders step onto the stage: Ronald Reagan in the United States and Mikhail Gorbachev in the Soviet Union. Reagan is tough on communism. He calls the Soviet Union the evil empire and launches a massive military buildup. Gorbachev, who takes power in 1985, is different. He knows the Soviet economy is collapsing. So when Reagan and Gorbachev meet in Geneva, Reykjavik, Washington, and Moscow, they talk about reducing nuclear weapons. In 1987, they signed the INF Treaty. It's the first major step toward ending the Cold War. But back home, Gorbachev faces a broken system. Empty store shelves, falling oil prices, a government trying to control everything, and failing. He launches two reforms: perestroika, meaning restructuring, to fix the economy, and glasnost, meaning openness, giving people more freedom to speak and criticize the government. But instead of saving communism, these reforms show just how broken it really is. And then, the dominoes start to fall. In Poland, workers led by Lech Wałęsa demand free elections. The government gives in. In Hungary, the border with Austria opens in 1989. East Germans start fleeing to the west. Protests spread across Eastern Europe. And then comes the moment the world will never forget. November 9th, 1989. Crowds gather at the Berlin Wall. Guards don't stop them. People climb on top. They smash it with hammers. They hug strangers from the West. The Berlin Wall, the ultimate symbol of the Iron Curtain, is gone. One by one, communist governments across Eastern Europe collapse. And by 1991, even the Soviet Union itself falls apart. 15 new countries emerge, including Russia, Ukraine, and the Baltic states. The Cold War is over. The Iron Curtain has fallen. And the world changes almost overnight. The fear of nuclear war fades. Eastern Europe becomes democratic. Germany reunifies after 45 years. Countries join NATO and the European Union. Economies transform. Life is hard at first, especially in Russia. But over time, Eastern Europe becomes freer and wealthier than ever before. The fall of the Iron Curtain ended decades of division. It showed that even the most powerful systems can collapse when people demand freedom and change. And it reminds us that walls, whether made of bricks or ideas, never last forever. The world after 1989 was a different world, a freer world, because the Iron Curtain was gone.